Welcome. Thank you so much for showing up. I think that's the first thing that we can do for ourselves is show up. Um, the other thing in any yoga practice or any practice at all is welcoming ourselves, welcoming our whole and complete selves just as we are. And I'll just paraphrase a poem from one of my teachers, Jillian Pransky, is that when we feel welcome, we show up more. When we feel welcome, we show up more. So I hope you feel welcome. I welcome you. So again, my name is Diane Kistler, and I'll be guiding you through 15-20 minute morning yoga practice, depending upon where you are at. And just a little thing, I do have, this is accessible for all levels. It's very gentle, especially our first practice together. I may be demonstrating in a chair because all of this can be done in a chair, on the floor, in your bed. Or if those that want a little more challenge today, you can even do some of it standing up if you want to do that as well. So I'm going to meet you back on my mat for right now. And we'll start with a centering practice and then work into more joint freeing, warm up. And I'd like to finish with a nice meditation, kind of culminating this practice. So grab anything that would support you. Maybe it's a blanket or a cushion that can support your spine and your pelvis. Put socks on, take socks off, whatever you need for the practice, and really honor where you are right now. That's part of that welcoming. Okay. All right. So I will meet you back there as I scoot back, and hopefully everybody can hear me. So this cross-legged position may not be comfortable for you right now, and maybe extending the legs is a little more comfortable, or even putting some supports. Supports does not mean that you're giving up. Supports is just another way for you to actually go deeper into your practices. So whether you're first time yogi or a long time yogi, supports make us feel safe. Okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of a technique called havening technique. And I'm going to invite you to just take your hands and softly stroke them, maybe doing circles, maybe tracing down to the fingertips or in between the fingers. We're just trying to get that touch, that self-touch that we are here, we are present. It also increases the circulation to the hands too. I know it's winter time where I'm at, so the hands are always getting cold. And you can do both the palms and inside of fingers and the outside. I always think of this as a very loving, like I'm putting on the world's best hand lotion, and it's just making my hands soft and receptive. Beautiful. And you can even look at your hands too in a more loving way. Good. And then we're going to guide that same kind of stroking movement and come up the arm toward the shoulder. We'll do one arm at a time. If your thumb wants to come toward the inside of your arm. And I suggest or I invite you into a very gentle stroking. But if you want more pressure, just gauge what works and what feels right for you right now. And you can even get into that upper shoulder area as well. Good. And then we're going to do that with the other arm. So these little techniques of not only bringing some calm and ease, but it's a way to check in with how you feel, the self touch, to move the circulation as well, maybe some of the lymph. Good. And then we're going to take that same movement to our forehead, and from the center of your forehead out toward your temples, just a very light stroke, comforting, let's say. Yeah, nice. I think of some of these methods as like my own little facial, right? And you take the same light stroke from your nose, your bridge of your nose out toward your ears. So you're kind of moving along that upper cheek area. Maybe your fingers even go to the lower cheek area. Maybe the jaw begins to relax, the eyes. Hmm. Sometimes a sigh may just escape from the mouth as you breathe out, that feeling of just comfort and safety. And then from here, the invitation is to just rest the hands and observe how that little bit of stroking and touching felt for you, or as it landed. And as part of our centering practice to arrive into this time together is to notice what is going on, observing with curiosity what's going on in your body. So, what are you feeling right now? What sensations? And sensations may show up as emotions and images and colors. But do a little scan, maybe starting at your toes and working your way up the legs into your pelvis and your belly, into your rib cage and your chest, into the shoulders and down the arms, now to the hands, and through the back of your body, along the spine, from the base of your spine up to the base of your skull, and checking in with your head and your face as well. And anything that you come across is just as it is, right? We're arriving into the practice, so we're not doing anything to change or make judgments about what we discover. And then noticing your breath here. Do you feel that air moving in? Do you feel that air moving out? Are there qualities to your breath, a depth, a speed, a length, or even a temperature to that breath? And then how does the breath land in your body? As you breathe in, what do you feel move in your body? And as you breathe out, what do you feel move in your body? Feeling like the body is receiving the breath. Good. And another aspect of arriving and centering is noticing your thoughts. There may be curiosity of what the practice will look like for you and how you will receive it. There may be your to do list from the day. Just notice our thoughts coming in and what are the qualities, not necessarily what the thoughts are, but the qualities of the thoughts. And finally, just checking in with your energy level this morning. What are you sitting with? And this is our litmus, our starting point for the practice, just to arrive and notice all these aspects of what's going on right now. So as we come into the warm up, we're going to start at the top of our head and just start to make very tiny circles with your head. I imagine that there's a crown or a marker of my favorite color, and I'm just drawing circles on the ceiling. And the circles can be any size circle that feels right for you right now with the right amount of effort. And then as you circle, let's reverse those, making your shapes on the ceiling. And as we're moving through the practice, every once in a while, just checking in. Are you holding tension somewhere? What is the breath doing? How about the thoughts? Good. And then we're just going to let the head rest and start to move into the shoulder joint. So let's just take one shoulder at a time and begin to circle them, right? Your hands wherever they are comfortable, by your side, on your legs. We're just circling, almost doing a little shimmy with the body, right? So we're letting that energy flow into some of our joints of our body. And then from the shoulders, relax them down like a marionette. Let the arms hang like this. And then just kind of let them sway a little bit. And you can do this lower down. If this feels a little too tense for the shoulders, you can come down here out to the side. You could do one elbow at a time or one arm at a time. And I just love how the practice of yoga is so accessible that these could even be done in bed, which is great. All right. And then let the arms rest, noticing them at rest. And we'll come to the wrists now, and either your hands remaining somewhere where they're supported or bringing them up, and we're going to circle the hands around. Yeah. So we're just doing maybe 5 times in one direction, 5 times in the other direction. The fingers can be passive, just kind of hanging there, or they could move as well, like you're playing a piano. Good. And then rest the hands again. We're going to go into some more movements for the upper body. So placing your hands right there at your heart center. And we're going to inhale and just start to open the arms slowly. And exhale, bring them back to the heart space. And if you care to let the spine extend a little and maybe a little gaze upward, and maybe as you come back in, the gaze downward, a loving. So this is more expansive, more open, and this is coming in, right? Our worlds are both outside, external to us, and internal to us. We'll do 2 more. And maybe this gesture of the hands placed at the heart space is very tender and comforting. Good. Rest for a moment. Just notice. And then with the palms up, either at your lap or here about, I don't know, like parallel here, we're going to start to open one hand and start to look back, and then bring that hand back, and then open the other one. So we're moving into a rotation. We get to move the spine a little side to side. We breathe in, we breathe out. We expand and we draw in. One more either side. And then come to that rest and notice. So for this next movement, which is moving our lower body because it's been kind of static here, not moving, I'm going to demonstrate in the chair, but you can remain seated on the floor or even do this standing. So from the chair, the floor, or standing, you're going to take one foot out and just start to circle the ankle. And if you want to hold on to that leg wherever you are on the floor or chair or standing, and circle in the other direction, maybe even look down towards your feet and thank them for all their service, all those years. And then we're going to let that one relax. We notice it relaxing and go over to the other one. So I love to do these joint freeing movements in the morning as your body kind of contracts in the night, go in the other direction with the circles. So it's a nice way to get that energy flow, the circulation going in the body. And rest and notice them at rest. And now we're going to move the knee joints. So this one, I'd like to scoop up my leg with my hands if I can, and either do circles or swaying a little side to side. So see what you prefer. So I mentioned earlier that yoga is very accessible and go in the other direction, but it's all about choice and seeing where you are in this moment and what your body needs or your mind. And then rest that leg and we'll scoot over to the other one, making circles or swaying, and circle in the other direction. Good. And the last thing that we'll do with the movement before we come to meditation is just some windshield wipers. Okay. And if you are standing, maybe you do some circles with the hips. In fact, if you want to do some circles with the hips instead, you may. Just to get into the hip joint as well. Good. So I'd like to finish today, I know it's so fast, with a loving kindness meditation. I'm going to come back onto the floor as I have the words written out here. So I want to make sure that so we're going to bring the hands to the heart again for just a moment, and then open them up. And then as you bring them in, either give yourself a hug or maybe placing one hand in the pit of your arm or both, just whatever the most tender, loving gesture is for you. And as we go through this loving kindness meditation, maybe imagine that you are filled with a golden healing light. And I'll repeat these phrases 3 times. And we're bringing this and projecting this to ourselves. May I be well. May I be kind to myself. May I be safe from harm. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be well. May I be kind to myself. May I be safe from harm. May I be peaceful and at ease. And one more time. May I be well. May I be kind to myself. May I be safe from harm. May I be peaceful and at ease. Notice how that lands for you, like little seeds being planted, loving, kindness, compassion. We'll draw those palms into heart center. And in yoga, we share this practice together, loving respect as we finish. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking this time for yourself. I wish you a lovely rest of your day. And we return next week, 10 a.m. Sorry, not p.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you.